Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now, and we are just about 73 subscribers away from the 1k mark, 1k of our Digi family. So if you're new to the channel and if you're liking the content, please smash that subscribe button. So the film that I'm going to be talking today is the Telugu film which is called The Ghost, which is streaming on Netflix. Now we have to admit that we are a nation that enjoys a share of action films, but there's one thing about the action films, that they have to have an emotional connect also. Otherwise, it is just plain action and it just falls off. We have seen such emotional connects in films like John Wick or even The Transporter or even James Bond. Any film that you pick which has worked, it has that emotional connect to it wherein you are invested with the action. And so, with that hope, I went in to watch the Telugu film starring Nagarjuna, which is called The Ghost, which started streaming on Netflix yesterday night. And here are my thoughts on the same. So, if I have to talk about the story and screenplay, The Ghost is essentially a story of an ex Interpol officer who will stop at nothing at protecting his sister and her daughter. So, if you see, the story is nothing new. It is the same story, but it has some very cool action sequences. Now, essentially, for me, I wanted to break the screenplay into two aspects. Two things should have definitely worked for me to like the film. One was the stylized sequence, which I already said was, I think, very well choreographed. The other was the emotional quotient, and emotional quotient can mean and in any capacity, and that is where I feel the film was lacking. And that is that is a very, I wouldn't say small, it is a very large defect that it has in the screenplay of the film. And so the screenplay standing at 135 minutes ensures that there are no dull moments and the film moves at a breakneck pace. However, the emotional connect in the film is absolutely zero. So the film opens with an elaborate action sequence wherein the two protagonists you see are shooting down a group of men for reasons best known for them. Now this sequence was a bit of a hit and miss for me. One, because it did I had just about entered the film, and it usually takes a viewer a good 5-7 minutes to settle into the drama. And so if you're throwing in an action sequence right up, straight up, no doubt it is going to have your attention, but then you will not be able to invest properly in that action sequence because there's no world building, which is point number two. The world building here was absolutely zero in the first scene itself, and that is, you're just going through the motions, when the protagonists are shooting up the gang of guys. They're just like, you're just going through the motions. It's not like why or how, what is happening, what is the backstory. It's just happening. And so you do get a minor flashback, as a part of the flashback, you do get a story about who the protagonist is and how did he, not sure, not exactly how did he end up here, but who the protagonist is and his past before, the main story kicks in. And the main story here, by the way, I felt again the writers had a very good opportunity to develop those emotional scenes, that emotional bond which would have paid as the film would progress going forward, because there was a scope, there was an angle to explore. Because if the viewers feel connected to the characters and the bond that is there, then definitely the action sequences in will definitely have a lot more meaning. The actions, if I have to put it, will have a lot more meaning. But here, the emotional bond just wasn't there, and it was a total disconnect. I mean, there were a series of action sequences which were well choreographed, but they were just mechanical and just lack soul because of this investment that was missing here. And there are a few twists and turns, nothing that you will find it supremely shocking. Another aspect of the film, aspect of the screenplay rather, which was missing here was the characterization. The characterization are just, they're just cardboard cutout characters basically. Even the protagonist is one dimensional, but he still has a meaty role, whereas the other characters, they just do not have any sort of characterization in this film. And I think that was something that could have been explored as well. For example, the antagonist just wasn't there. The antagonist wasn't, I wouldn't even say he was intimidating, because he just wasn't there. He was like hardly in two scenes in the entire film. You can't have that in an action film and expect that the film just runs only on the action. That's not going to happen. People are comparing it, by the way, to John Wick as well. Now, John Wick, I also had an emotional connect to the film, wherein he loses his dog, and that was his motive for the kind of actions. Yeah, you would say, oh, just for his dog he's doing that, but it still had that emotional connect. Here, the emotional connect is far too silly. I mean, it just misses the mark. So overall, even despite the final sequence in which the protagonist is seen shooting and going absolutely ballistic and slicing people, the ending is all right, but the screenplay is definitely weak here, and it leaves a lot of scope for improvement. Coming to the technical aspects, the dialogues are all right, a bit corny at places, but it's okay. The music is again decent, but it acts as a hindrance to the flow of the drama. The BGM is pretty good. I mean, that introduction sequence introducing the protagonist Nagarjuna is, I think, spectacular. That background music was pretty cool, and I really like that. I think the direction also by Prakash, I think he did a decent job. I wouldn't say he did a bad job. The drama was definitely watchable, definitely will set your adrenaline rushes in places, but I feel he could have tapped a little on the emotional connect as well, and that is something that was missing here. And coming to the performances, I think the performances are decent to say the least. I feel that talented actors like Gulpanag and Manish Chaudhary are absolutely wasted. I mean, it's just, they just had minuscule roles, even though they were touted as leads. They had the potential, but the characterization just didn't allow them to blossom. Sonal Chauhan, I think she looked very pretty, and I think she also excelled in the combat sequences. But again, that was a one-dimensional character to say the least. Nagarjuna, I think, was spectacular in the film. He was excellent, and definitely set the bar high for someone who's 60 years. He did a spectacular job, and he is still very nimble, and he excelled. The kind of comeback scene that he did in Brahmastra for a brief while, that same momentum is seen in Ghost. And I think if there's one reason to watch the Ghost on Netflix, it is because of Nagarjuna. So overall, I feel that the Ghost is a slick action flick, but it just lacks that emotional connect. If you wish to watch it, it is on Netflix. If you're liking this video, please smash that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on the film. If there are any other recommendations, do throw me that as well. Subscribe to the channel. We are just a handful away from the first landmark of the channel, and I am taking some of the feedback also in improving the ambience. So do let me know your thoughts on that as well. Also, press that bell icon, it'll help you know when I'm online. And yeah, follow me on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterbox. All links are in the description. The full review of Ghost also is in the description box on my site. Popcorn Reviews with the double S. Visit that too. I'll see you around very soon with another video. So then, thank you so much. Bye bye.